Hi, I'm Jay McClellan with Fortune Bay Expedition Team, and this is the second episode from our Hidden Waterfalls of Northern Ontario expedition, where we explored some hidden gems of Northern Ontario that few people get to see. In the first episode, we explored the Adbinadong River area and Twin Falls on the Cagayauna River. In this episode, we stop at Manitou Falls before driving up to Nakina and then northeast to find Peter Falls on the Drowning River. From Twin Falls, we drove over to see nearby Manitou Falls. We reached this spot where the road was washed out, and there was a narrow way around it, but it didn't look like it would be prudent to take Tom's two-wheel drive Sprinter van down this hill, so we camped here for the night. The next morning, Tom and Sharon had to leave, so from now on it would be just Liz and me in our four-wheel drive Sprinter plus Dudley in his Jeep. We assessed the hill and decided our van could make it through, and more importantly that we could make it back up the hill later. Naturally, this spot was no challenge for the Jeep, and we hit some other washouts before we got to the falls, so we decided it does qualify as a hidden waterfall because it is a little bit challenging to get to. Eventually, we reached the Pick River and came to these impressive rock faces with their huge squared-off blocks and streaks of light and dark running through the rock. The rocks led us up to the spectacular Manitou Falls. I got some nice drone shots of Manitou Falls, but due to poor planning, my footage is limited, so the following footage is courtesy of Bryce Dubé. His channel is Boreal Adventure, and he's got some other cool videos that are well worth checking out. Manitou Falls was impressive, but it's fairly well known, and we were after more remote destinations that few people get to see. So we headed north toward Nakina and started out on some former logging roads that are fairly well traveled but still challenging spots, and this was a fun drive. Some of the hills had loose, fist-sized rocks, so we tried to keep up our speed when going up these hills. We were always on the lookout for any bear or moose that might suddenly cross our path, but we never expected to get stopped by a baby rabbit. This little guy started hopping down the road in front of us, and he would just not get off the road, and I certainly wasn't going to drive over him. The camera angle makes it look fairly level, but it was actually a significant uphill slope here, and the silly rabbit actually got us slightly stuck at one point. I just got stuck because of a rabbit. Eventually I decided I'd better chase him off the road, and I take no pleasure in terrorizing furry little creatures, but maybe next time he'll see oncoming vehicles as a danger and get out of the way before he gets squashed. Kind of scenic. The rest of these back roads were enjoyable, although it was a long drive, and we did stop at a few scenic spots along the way.
Little rapids. Just a pretty spot.
We reached the Blueberry Road heading up to Nakina, and it was heavily traveled and really dusty, so we were glad when we finally reached Nakina to refuel. And then we headed up the Waba Road, and it was a pleasant change, wide and pretty well used, but it was nearly devoid of other traffic. We made it most of the way up to Peter Falls, which would be our destination the next day, and we found a campsite right beside the road on a little lake where we enjoyed watching and listening to the loons in the evening. The next morning we headed north on the Waba Road past Wababa-Miga Lake, and then turned off on a smaller side road toward our destination, Peter Falls. This was a beautiful drive, and the road was fairly open, but kept getting narrower and bumpier, and eventually we aired down the tires to soften the ride a bit. For the most part, we maintained 15 or 20 miles an hour, even though it might look like we were going a lot faster. We spotted quite a bit of bear scat along the road, so bear are clearly common up here, but so far we hadn't seen any along the road, and we were hoping not to encounter any while hiking. After we passed Supon Lake, the road was clearly much less traveled, but it was still in good shape except for being overgrown in spots. If you can call it a road. It's a little bumpy. Eventually the road became more overgrown, but we just pushed the van through anyway. This is by no means the tightest trail we've driven the van down. A little bit of a push through here. We can handle it. So Dudley is proceeding on ahead in his Jeep to see if this road quickly becomes not a road or if it's actually kind of passable. It looks pretty rough. He's rocking and rolling up there. We did drive a little farther and decided to park here since, according to the GPS, we had made it within about 600 meters of Peter Falls, and we would just bushwhack the rest of the way. 600 meters may not sound like a long hike, but it can feel very long when bushwhacking through thick woods. With our experience failing to reach Forebay Falls because we were in the wrong place, we decided we'd send the drone up to make sure there was an actual waterfall here before starting a long, tough bushwhack, and also to scout out whether there was any kind of trail leading to it. We could see there was a trail at least part of the way, and more importantly, there was in fact a waterfall here, and it looked pretty cool from the air. But of course we wanted to see it up close, so we brought the drone back and prepared to bushwhack. Peter Falls, that away! Don't grab the camera! So, on the trail to Peter Falls. A little thick, but not too bad. Fortune Bay Expedition team plowing through the bush, braving the bears on our way to Peter Falls. So we have found scientific evidence of Bigfoot. This print looks like about a size 23 shoe. All right, so we're trying to dead reckon down to just below the falls, and we're on kind of sort of a road here, but hasn't been driven, I think, in 50 years, because we got some pretty big trees in the road. So at least it's a little easier than raw bushwhacking. We're right on course, so that's good. We've come about 300 meters, give or take, so we're roughly halfway. So we're still sort of following remnants of a trail. It's not real thick as bushwhacking goes. It's pretty walkable. We did worse on our first day. There must be a waterfall down here somewhere. We're going downhill. There's got to be water at the bottom, right? A little bushwhack, but not insane bushwhack. Oh, I don't think it's insane. I don't know. Pretty in here.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, Princess Pine.
Yep. Oh, girl. Ooh. Oh, this is interesting.
We love bushwhacking.
Oh, yeah. Well, the long-legged guys, he's so lucky.
Oh, we even got a trail marker.
Oh, no.
Well, there might be an actual trail. Well, we got trail marker. Oh, there's actually a pretty well marked trail at this stage. So maybe there's an easier trail back.
Oh, yeah. Right in the water.
Oh, I can see the falls just barely through the trees. At long last, Fortune Bay Expedition team reaches the river and Peter Falls. Oh, nice. Hello from Peter Falls. We made it. Tough bushwhack, fun drive. We intentionally came into a point downriver of the falls, but of course we wanted to see them closer, so now we had a bit of a bushwhack upriver through some fairly thick woods and steep slopes to try to get up close to the falls themselves. Through here, I guess. Oh, there's a trail, kinda. Yeah, this could be a portage trail. I think the trail is actually kind of simple. It just was obscured by the trees. So once again, I led you astray, but we've sorted it out. Are we having fun?
Yes. Oh,
good. Well, Liz has taken the lead. She took command because I was just screwing up. And as usual, she's finding a much better route. She just walks right to it and I take the hard way. But we're getting closer and closer. Yeah, let's go to the left. Just don't fall in. That's pretty deep right there. Oh man. Oh man, was that worth it. Yeah, great view from here.
Bay Expedition Team, Hidden Waterfalls of Northern Ontario Expedition has reached Cedar Falls. We're happy we did. It was a tough go getting here, but definitely was a beautiful spot. Glad to be here.
We hope you enjoyed episode 2 of our Hidden Waterfalls of Northern Ontario expedition and our journey to see Manitou Falls and Peter Falls. In the next episode, we'll continue northward to reach Feagle Falls, which is even more remote and even more amazing. Then we have an unexpected adventure trying to reach Amy Falls. We'll have some fun trail driving, new wildlife, more bushwhacking, lots more bugs, and of course, some amazing waterfalls, so we hope you'll come along with us. Thanks for watching.